Hello, I trust this message finds you well. Like everyone and everything, there are a lot of moving parts going on here at your FOP. I wanted to get this message out to give you a rapid fire of quick updates so that you are well aware of our continuity plans and our insurances of any contingencies being responsive to those. First and foremost, I want you to know that as I shared in our last video message, effective last week on Friday, we initiated our pre-planned continuity procedures for the FOP, and as a result, for the last week, our staff and our lodge partners have been working remotely to ensure continuity of service for our membership. I'm pleased to share that our remote capabilities are fully functional, and not only have we achieved the expectations that we had based on our plans, but we have actually exceeded those expectations. And in fact, during this last week, we've been able to expand our capacity at the same time. With that, we are having daily virtual meetings with our staff and ensuring nothing is being overlooked and that our membership is being fully cared for during this time. As a result of that, I want to stress to our members that our main phone line and email systems are all working, and the best procedures for still contacting us here at the FOP. With any questions you may have, information you may need, or regular lodge business. As a result of that, I want to remind you of the main phone line. Please put it into your phone so that you have it for the coming days. The main phone line here is 317-637-1195. 317-637-1195. As a result of the status of things, I have also directed that the main phone line be monitored 7 days a week and not just the normal Monday through Friday. So that phone line will be monitored during what would be the normal business hours, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m., where you can expect someone answering your phone call during that time. If it's outside of those hours, just please allow us a little flexibility to simply follow back up with you, but it will be monitored really 24 hours a day. In addition, our Ruckelshaus Law Firm, your legal team, remains fully functional. They have also initiated their continuity plans and have taken their steps for remote capabilities. I'm pleased to say that during this week I've been able to actually have virtual meetings with them and been able to ensure that everything that was already in place is continuing on. The only thing that we will see due to the nature of the circumstances is that there may be some modifications made that require some alternative response plans related to critical incidents. Make no mistake though, our members will have the full capabilities and response that they would normally receive. There just may be some slight modifications and alternatives to that we will step through at that time. What I want you to know is we have a plan in place to do that, and we have also coordinated well with the police department on those fronts. In addition, I want to share with you a reminder that our lodge partners that are housed here at the FOP have also initiated their continuity plans and have been fully functional during this time of remote services. That includes Midwest Deferred Comp, our IMPD Pension Administrator, the Central Indiana Police Foundation, our 2021 National Conference Office, and our Retired Police Officers Association. And I'm pleased to say that they haven't missed a beat. There's been no gaps in that system that have been identified, and they remain fully functional. In addition, I want you to know that we have worked to take some key steps throughout really the last 2 weeks in constant and consistent communication with the command staff of the IMPD, as well as the various chiefs of police and their staff of the other agencies that we represent and work with. And in addition, we have also had consistent contact with the superintendent of the Indiana State Police and our other state law enforcement liaisons. As a result, we have good open lines of communication. We are working to ensure that your needs are being addressed on every level and every front that we can play a role in assisting and advocating upon. As a result of that, recently issued bulletin confirms that we have now been able to sustain designated COVID testing capabilities for public safety personnel. So please, if you're with IMPD, I would direct you to that bulletin. If you're with one of our sister agencies, please feel free to contact us or contact the IMPD to get that information as well. We have also worked very diligently during this last week to tackle this issue of getting plans in place and for a resupply of sanitizer and the N95 or higher masks. As a result of that, we're in the same position that every other city and community in the United States finds themselves within right now. However, I'm pleased to share that through a lot of work, we have received confirmation that a shipment has been received by the IMPD, and our logistics group is actually taking delivery of that right now as we speak, and they will be stepping through to see what of that order they have received and making arrangements for any additional distributions as they are needed. I do want to remind you that a message has been published pointing our officers back to your previously issued equipment related to your APR mask. Please go back and review that and keep your APR prepped, ready to go, and also know those decontamination steps. That is a reusable piece of equipment, specifically during this time, but it will be vitally important that you follow those decontamination steps. In addition, we have also initiated, following through on our due diligence with our continuity plans, an immediate status check related to our retiree health insurance fund that is managed by the RIF committee here at the FOP. I'm pleased to share that we have confirmed that that is fully funded and is sound, and there are no known issues on that front. So I want our members to be able to take that and set that aside as an area of concern in any manner whatsoever. We received very positive news, and in fact, we are going to maintain our regularly scheduled meeting that we have periodically on that in the coming days. No issue for anything to change on that front. I also wanted to share with you, though, that we did receive guidance from our National Fraternal Order of Police this week and our National FOP General Counsel related to what we're facing and the impact that can have on regularly scheduled membership meetings. And what we've been able to confirm in the guidance that we have received is that while we are required to have those regular lodge meetings as we do every month, by our Constitution and bylaws, it does not speak to circumstances such as this. As a result, since it's not clearly outlined, our National FOP President, in conjunction with our National FOP Council, has determined that those meetings may be postponed. However, they are required to still occur when the time is available and the circumstances allow for group meetings to occur again. So as a result, I fully anticipate that our April regular lodge business meeting will be postponed, and we will send out final confirmation of that in the coming days. In the interim, what we will be able to do is everything will still fully function as normal, and our executive board will still meet as scheduled. We will do that through our remote capabilities that are already in place. And any needs, emergent needs that develop for our members, in my capacity as president, I'll still be able to address in review in conjunction with the executive board. So there will be uninterrupted service as it relates to that front. It will be the logistics and the requirements that we will follow through on with regularly scheduled business meetings as we move forward. So just stay tuned for more information related to that. I also want to share with you that we have taken very proactive steps in terms of contingency planning specific for our members and their families. One of the issues that we have worked to address is related to our decentralized fleet. This incident, without a doubt, is demonstrating the exact value that we have advocated for decades now on the value and purpose of having and maintaining a decentralized fleet for a major urban police department. Quite frankly, I firmly believe we'll find that it'll be one of the significant game changers for us as a community versus many others. As a result of that, though, we have a significant number of those unmarked cars for detectives and administrators that are a different platform than the pursuit rated vehicles we have. As all of you know, since they are not pursuit rated, they do not contain emergency equipment. We have taken proactive steps thinking ahead to ensure that we will have proper ways to mark and designate those cars if need be on very short notice, so that it can help expedite the ability for officers to move about in those vehicles if they're not in a fully marked police vehicle. So stay tuned for further information. If the need arises for that, I just want all of you to know we're prepared to move forward and help in that manner. I also wanted to share with you that I've had the opportunity to have direct communication with Congresswoman Susan Brooks. In addition to all of our other locally elected officials and state elected officials. I'm very appreciative of the work and the communications, the open lines of communications and relationships we already had established with our state representatives and state senators and representatives from the governor's office. But we were also able to have direct communication from our lodge with Congresswoman Susan Brooks, which is vitally important because she is actually one of the leading folks from Washington, D.C. related to these exact issues that we're facing right now. In fact, she led and participated in a recent pandemic simulation that occurred on a national and international front. And then she actually helped sponsor federal legislation that's called PAHPA. It's P-A-H-P-A. It's related to pandemic and health funding and protocols. And in fact, what we are operating in today, in large part, was directly impacted by her work and the work of many other folks. So she has a lot of expertise in this arena. We've been able to have open lines of communication with her. She's been very helpful. One of the things that she asked that we share and reinforce to our officers, especially officers on the front lines in a response components, is that there be particular attention focused on any responses to long-term care facilities. She really wants to remind us and stress to us that that is the critical area where we need officers to follow good safety protocols and utilization of personal protective equipment to help protect the safety and the integrity of those facilities anytime we're responding or reacting there. We have also relayed that information and reaffirmation back to our command staff at IMPD, and they are well aware of it, and they have consistent messaging with that as well. So I just wanted to take this opportunity to reinforce that and again, really encourage you. Keep those APRs very available and within arm's reach, as well as your gloves and any other PPE equipment that would be appropriate for such a response to such a facility. She is also able to relay that Indiana was able to receive additional stock from the Strategic National Stockpile related to some of those issues with sanitizer, masks, gloves, and other components. As a result, Indiana received a distribution from that on Thursday of this week. On Friday, our logistics team from IMPD is actually handling the receipt of that and starting to separate that out and have that available for us. And we're very grateful for the help of our national and federal partners on that front. Finally, I want to also point out that one of our leading partners, which is Midwest Food Bank, they are on the front lines of emergency food relief for those in need, specifically in our neighborhoods throughout our community, but also for our first responders as well. Also, the school children who are receiving daily meals, in large part, those are also coming not just from Gleaners, but our partners at Midwest Food Bank. As a result, they have worked with us for years, a couple of years now, helping us with our food distributions that we were doing in normal times, and really helping us in many ways. It has become very clear that they are going to need a tremendous amount of additional funding resources because they have now had to shift to purchasing food and not just relying upon gleaning food from other organizations. As a result, it will easily cost their organization $25,000 per semi-load, and as they have shared publicly, they believe that in what could be expected to be the peak demand times during this whole time frame, that it could be costing funding needed as to the tune of $1 million a week. We have pulled out all the stops trying to work with our community partners to help sponsor and support that, but I would ask that you and your families also consider it, if at all possible, to help share that information and help get the word out. In addition, we have also been working with many of our faith organizations that we have already had relationships with through our One Cop project in terms of those houses of worship being able to be stood up when the time occurs to be neighborhood food distribution sites in conjunction with Midwest Food Bank, who would funnel the resources out to those locations, and then those locations would help funnel them out into the neighborhood. So we're actively engaged on that front. Finally, I've been doing a lot of status checks with our district command leadership, trying to ensure and really keep a pulse on our officers and their families, on any trending needs that we are seeing, and also, quite frankly, just ensuring that our morale is remaining high. One of the things that has been consistent is that we have heard is our officers are doing well. They're waiting for things to progress and us to respond as we are trained to do. But in the interim, the consistent themes have been related to any personal, financial situations or concerns and child care issues. As you know, for the IMPD, they are already taking steps to evaluate child care needs and what potential plans would be for that. I recognize that many of our officers already have their own personal child care plans put into place, but we just want to make sure that we have a supplementary outlet for any of those officers who may need it. In addition, on the financial front, I want to make clear that we have a multitude of available resources available to you through your FOP. We have coordinated that already, and whether it be related to your own personal investments, any questions that you may have on the pension plan, your DROP program, and then I also want to thank Officer Teeters on Northwest District, who actually brought this to our attention and up through the chain of command. Specific questions and a suggestion that we make information available related to the changes in the new tax filing amendments that have been made. As a result of that, we have representatives who will be available to help point officers in the right direction in terms of answers responsive to their individual specific needs. I can't speak to all those in this message, so we have worked to make representatives available, trusted representatives that we already know available for questions such as that. So shout out to Officer Teeters there for your help. In addition, any legal assistance, not only related to lodge matters, remains uninterrupted and normal protocols followed there, but also a reminder of any personal legal needs that you may have. The Ruckelshaus Law Firm stands ready, willing, and available to assist you during those times, and we can get you pointed in the right direction there. And then finally, any spiritual needs that you may have during some of the challenges that we're facing and that we fully expect that we're going to face moving forward. We are firm advocates for your physical, mental, and spiritual well-being in this profession. And so all I want to share with you is call us on the main line. Tell us what, if any of those areas you need some direction or have questions about, and we will immediately get you your information forwarded to those trusted representatives to then immediately contact you and get you pointed in the right direction. Finally, I just want to share with you our confidence level in what we are seeing in the participation we have had in contingency planning and continuity planning systems throughout the agencies in the multi-agency approach that we will have through our Emergency Operations Center and our Regional Operations response. As a result of that, daily we have been confirming key decision makers and folks who are involved in that chain of command, if you will. And I just want to share with you our appreciation with the fact of knowing that Commander Tommy Sellis, Tom Sellis, has been appointed as the incident commander for this response, and our firm confidence in his abilities, his leadership, and his steady approach that he has demonstrated throughout his entire career. I had the opportunity to have a direct conversation with Commander Sellis, and he was able to affirm a lot of our assessments, and also we have clear open lines of communication established so that if we are identifying any developing needs specific for our members, our officers, their families, our active officers, our retired officers, we can get that folded into the resource planning and decision making that they have to make, because we fully understand our first responders. We have to make sure that they are safe, healthy, and responsive so that we can ensure that our community is safe, healthy, and responsive. We have complete confidence in that. Finally, I'll close with this. During these times, I'm reminded of things like that we can fall back upon, not only our training through the department, but also things that we have received from people like Bill Westfall, including the leadership test right there behind me here at the FOP, and all the things that he has taught us. But you'll also remember he shared with us a quote from Harry Reeder that says, "Circumstances do not dictate our character, they reveal it and provide the opportunity to refine and develop it." And I just want to suggest to you that that is exactly where we find ourselves in this moment in time. We stand on the cusp of, quite honestly, stepping through challenges that are consistent with many of the challenges that others have addressed that have gone before us. And in some ways, such a unique challenge that many of them couldn't even dream of. But we're going to respond according to the ground that they plowed for us to bring us to this point, to be as prepared as possible in this profession, to lead the way of our local communities, our states, and quite frankly, as I've always said, it's the American law enforcement officer that will lead our country through and out of this to the other side, where we will move on to better days and continue the health of our country. So I want to thank you for what you're doing and for what your commitment, your dedication, and your loyalty, your fidelity to the cause is being represented here as we move forward in the coming days. I know that your families are playing a role in that as well. And just know that we are not just behind you, but alongside you as we move forward with this. As always, stay safe. I will be seeing you at a roll call soon when we're able to get back to our roll calls. But in the interim, I'm always available 24 hours a day, and I will come and meet with you. And then we have the full breadth and resources of our organization available to each and every one of you. God bless, and keep looking up.